Welcome to the SAU report. I'm Sam Jones.
And I'm Sean Green. And today we have with us Judge Larry, Instructor of Curriculum.
The AEA represents the teachers in the state of Arkansas, and it stands for the Arkansas Education Association. It represents the teachers as far as focusing on a particular issue that may concern their workplace or their curriculum. It also is active in the legislature as far as protecting their rights.
Okay.
What exactly is the SAEA?
Well, the SAEA is a student organization that's also affiliated with the Arkansas Education Association. So basically it's the Student Arkansas Education Association. And it's open for enrollment to college students who are interested in going into the teaching profession.
And what do you do for the AEA?
Well, I'm the sponsor. As a matter of fact, I was asked about a month and a half ago if I would serve as the sponsor for the organization. And I really feel that I was fortunate that I was asked, because it's something that I feel that as an educator, you need to be aware of the issues that are involved in your profession. And so I'm able to stay in touch not only with higher ed, but also with P12 or grades P through 12 in the public schools, and stay up on legislative issues and issues that affect, as I said, teachers in the classroom.
Okay, and you just recently became sponsor.
That's right.
Were you a member of the AA before you became sponsor, or were you just not involved at all, or how did that work out?
I've been a member of the AA for 20 some odd years, and I've been in education, or P12, for 28 years. This is my second year in higher ed. I feel that it would be risky to go into a classroom, not only 20 years ago, but today, without the AEA there to support me, not just emotionally, but also in the event that there are some issues that may come up locally or on the state level or the national level.
Okay.
What are some of the benefits of a student being in the SAEA?
Well, when students join the SAEA, they actually have the opportunity to almost, I guess I want to say, simulate the role of a teacher, and also they're going to be able to acquire a lot of literature that's going to keep them informed of issues, once again, that they're going to be facing in the classroom, especially if they're going to become licensed teachers. The SEA will provide them with a newsletter each year from the Arkansas Education Association, and also the NEA, the National Education Association.
Okay, so is it sort of like a bridge to the AEA?
I think that's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it because the students will have the opportunity to become acquainted with the officers in the AEA, as well as officers that are going to be in the local school districts, as well as national officers. So we have conferences. The SAEA is affiliated, once again, with the AEA, and Trish Talbot is the sponsor. She will provide the students who are members of SEA with workshops, especially workshops that are pertaining to the praxis. And the praxis is a test that students will take. For example, the practice 1. We require the students to take the practice 1 in order to get admitted to the College of Education. They are then required to take the practice 2, which is content. And the SAEA is affiliated with the AEA, and they give workshops to allow those students an opportunity to prepare for those tests.
Okay.
So the functions that the SAA offers students who join is that it prepares students for the praxis, and you said it simulates the experiences they'll have in classrooms. What are some of those? What are some of those methods of making it simulate like that?
Well, for example, we can't predict what is going to be in an issue, the newsletter that comes out each month, but there are usually going to be issues that will be relevant to the students, such as what is your curriculum going to be and who's going to dictate the curriculum to you? And just by becoming knowledgeable of that, we as educators can instruct our students how to prepare and best deal with those, especially when you're dealing with a local, I guess, group of administrators or a local community that may have ideals that may not be aligned with some that the AEA or SAEA supports.
Okay.
What types of meetings or conferences does the SAEA offer students?
Well, currently, the SAEA student membership, they're going to be able to attend the conference in November in which the Arkansas Educational Association holds it annually in Little Rock. And at this particular conference, they'll have an opportunity for professional development hours. That's one that's usually open to students of the AEA.
What exactly do you do within the SAEA? What are some of your duties and responsibilities and such?
That's a good question. It's a good question because, as I said, this is a new job description, so to speak, for me. But at this particular time, we're in the process of trying to really restructure the student organization here on campus. We have the officers in place to do that, but I more or less act as an advisor to them. I don't dictate policy, but I encourage them to get involved in not only the local issues, but also, as I said, the national issues.
And how are you trying to restructure? In what ways?
Well, we're trying to encourage more students who are in education to join. For example, our membership at this particular time, I think, is a lot lower than I would like to see it. And at our last meeting, we set the goal of having a membership of 50 students by this spring.
Okay.
How can a student join the SAEA?
Well, they can join the SAEA by calling my office, and that's 870-235-5151. And if they'll talk or if they'll call the office, I'll be able to give them the information that they'll need to join. Or another option is they could use the internet, and located at aeaonline.org, they can go to the website and follow the prompts on the website. They should be able to pull up the application, fill it out, and that's another way that they can join.
All right. What are the requirements or hours or anything needed to be a member of the SAEA?
Well, actually, the requirement is that they be a college student and that they are planning to go through the education program, the College of Education, and become a teacher.
Okay.
So anyone can join.
Are there any fees or dues to join the SAEA or the AEA?
That is another good question, one that I did not see coming. Very good. Yes, there is. I think we have a fee that's really affordable, and that's a word that I kind of hesitate to use in this day and time when I know how college students feel about fees and instructors saying that they're affordable. But the fee is about $30 a year for membership, and it includes, as I said a moment ago, the fact that you're going to get the newsletter, you're going to have access to all of the conferences, you'll have all of the rights that an AEA member will have. And I compare that, and I say it's reasonable because I compare it to the fees that are being paid by licensed teachers in the state of Arkansas to join the AEA. I think their monthly payment, if they choose to have it taken out of their checks each month, may be somewhere between $37 and $39 a month for membership.
And who can join the AEA? Is that just that's graduates of this education programs around the state, or?
Well, the AEA is open to membership. It opens its membership to licensed teachers, and something that I find also inviting is the fact that they're not only open to licensed teachers, but it's open to the administrators who choose to join.
How is the SAEA structured throughout the state? Is it broken down into schools or regions or anything like that?
The SAEA is broken down into chapters. And currently there are 17 chapters in the state of Arkansas, with Southern Arkansas University having one.
Okay.
How is the AEA broken down? Is it into regions or chapters or?
The AEA is broken down basically into districts, in that each school district may have a classroom teachers association. And that classroom teachers association may be known as the CTA, or they may adopt a name of a school as a part of their name. But the classroom teachers association is affiliated with the AEA.
What district is SAU in?
Well, I would define SAU as being in a region,
Okay.
and we're in Region 3.
Okay.
Why would you encourage a student to join the SAEA?
I would encourage them to join because, number one, I think it's showing a sign of being a professional. You know, you want to be a professional in that, and that means that you want to be as current as you can. And by being as current as you can, you're also going to be able to service your students in your community. Now, the SAEA, as I said, is going to not only support you, you know, in on the state level, the local level, and also the national level, but it'll also support you if you have questions about your curriculum, if you have questions, you know, about maybe a policy at school. This is just a good source for you, and it gives you a voice. If there's a situation that you may feel is unfair, or one that you may feel is fair and you would like to have implemented, you know, it would work both ways, positive and negative, then you're going to have an organization that at least is going to listen to you and consider your perspective on it.
What are some of the benefits of joining the AEA? Is it the same as the SAEA, or does it change a little bit after you become a licensed teacher?
It changes a little. It changes a little in that you're going to have an opportunity to, I think, take advantage of some discounts that may be offered by certain merchants. Usually when students come out of college, they have a couple of priorities. Number one, they want to get a job, and after getting that job, even sometimes before getting a place to live, they want a car. And AEA has a merchant that gives a pretty good discount as far as automobiles are concerned. And that's just one of the items that's mentioned. In addition to that, you'll have an opportunity to use what we call liability insurance, I think you would call it, in the event that there's an issue in the classroom and you may find yourself in litigation. They will support you in that respect.
So do they have like a lawyer on retainer?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And you said that they get, merchants will give discounts. Is that for like classroom materials?
No, not in the state of Arkansas.
Okay.
And I'm being specific about that because we're in Zone 3, for example. And so most of the discount coupons or opportunities would be with merchants in Zone 3.
Okay.
So there are some merchants right here in the city of Magnolia that will offer AEA discounts. If you're traveling, you can sometimes get a discount on the hotel also. Now, I said specifically for the state of Arkansas because the NEA will also offer certain discounts for educators. Now, those discounts will be pertaining to software that you may be able to use in the classroom, and they'll give you information such as websites that you can use for lesson plans.
So you mentioned the NEA. Can you tell me what is the NEA and what is the relationship between the AEA and the NEA?
Okay, the NEA is the National Education Association, and they actually represent the AEA nationally. The Arkansas Education Association is affiliated with the NEA in that the Arkansas Education Association operates under the Constitution of the National Education Association, just like the Classroom Teachers Association or local teachers association, even though it has its own constitution, it operates under the Arkansas Educational Association.
So does the AEA or the NEA kind of act as a mediator between teachers and their schools or the state if a problem arises?
I think that's a interesting way to put it. I'll have to think about that word mediator. The AEA and NEA does represent the teachers in the event that there is going to be an issue, as we said, nationally or statewide or locally. In the event that a local school district in compliance with the AEA decides that it wants to push an issue, then of course the AEA is going to determine if they're going to support that local school district, and if they do, then yes, they would support and act as a mediator if asked to do so.
So would you say that it's more of a union for the teachers, or?
Well, Mr. Jones, what you've done is you've used the word union, and think about the state of Arkansas and the legalities as far as using the word union. We like to think of the Arkansas Educational Association as a organization that's in place to support the teachers, because, you know, a union has a right to strike, but that's another area.
Okay.
So does the AEA have any relationship with the Arkansas School Board or, administrations or anything like that?
Well, the Arkansas School Board has its own organization. And in the event that the Arkansas School Board believes or wants to challenge or push an issue, then there would perhaps be communication between the two organizations in that event.
So is there, could you say they're conflicting almost in a sense, or just depending on the issue that's being brought up?
I think it really depends upon the issue, and not being an administrator, I would like to say that I can sympathize or empathize with their point of view, because as an administrator, you're trying to manage a group. The teachers in that particular school may be more concerned about their individual rights. Now, the individual rights may not be best, or the rights of the group may not be best for the individual. And in that particular situation, you might find the administrators standing on one side and the employees or the faculty or staff standing on the other side.
So what way does the AEA combat or take a stand on an issue that's being pushed by, say, that they disagree with by the Arkansas School Board?
Usually that's going to be at the invitation, and I mean the AEA would have to be invited by the local Classroom Teachers Association to represent them. And the local association would have some say-so as far as how they're going to be represented and the issues that they're going to push.
Okay.
In what way do you feel that the SAEA helps a student in achieving their goal of becoming an educator?
I think it emphasizes to them that, number one, and this is one of the reasons research has shown that teachers leave the classroom, is because they feel alone. I think, number one, they're going to find out that they have a lot of support from the Arkansas Educational Association, not only with the members in the local, but when they go to conferences, for example, professional development conferences, they'll find people who are speaking their same language. They'll find people who are sharing their same interests. And when you get together with a group whose interests you share, you know, you can not only gather strength from that, but you can also maybe come up with some positive ways to deal with the issues that you may think are important to you.
So are there like support groups or anything in place where teachers can come and talk about the different problems that they're having?
Well, the best answer would be no, but I'd also like to expound on that and say If a teacher has an issue, usually in a school district, there's going to be a building representative that that teacher should speak to. And that building representative will then take the appropriate actions, and those actions may involve contacting the UNICEF representative, in which the UNICEF representative will give feedback as to what should or could be done.
Can you tell me some of the recent accomplishments that the AAEA has accomplished for teachers in the state of Arkansas?
Well, as far as the 2006 accomplishments, I'm not as up to date as I should be, mainly because I've been in higher ed during that particular time. But before then, the AEA was very much a part of getting duty-free lunches for teachers. That is something that I dreamed of when I first went into teaching, and no one told me any different. I just had this grand idea that I would be sitting down to eat lunch, and it would be on a plate with silverware, and little did I know, it would be in a cafeteria with 200 other kids.
Does the SAEA have like a conference where all the students throughout the state meet once a year or so?
Usually it's going to be at the Professional Development Conference in November. However, back in the year 2002, the executive board for the student AEA decided, or rather it was decided by the president of the AEA that they would not meet at that particular time, but it would be delayed until a later time. And currently, however, that is the one meeting that I am aware of. And that is something that I will need to research a little farther, though, because as I said, I'm fairly new at this particular responsibility.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about the AEA Professional Development Conference?
The AEA Professional Development Conference focuses on different disciplines. For example, teachers who are involved in English, there will be a number of workshops, and that's what we call them, that are going to be provided for them free of charge with their membership, in which they'll have an opportunity to go in and listen to presentations. And these presentations are usually going to involve what a usually instructor does in their particular class, and they'll share this, with the teachers or the student teachers who may be in attendance. And that gives the teacher an opportunity to decide, am I going to try to implement this method or this strategy, or would this work, in the school district where I'm working? It also sponsors workshops for music, art. I know that the art workshop is usually held in a separate location. And during this particular time, Brenda Turner, who is the art specialist, usually prompts the teachers to continue to excel in whatever areas that they're going to be concentrating on that particular year. And her major emphasis so far has been newsletters and getting students involved in local art shows.
Okay. We'd like to thank Mr. Larry for being with us today. For the SAU report, I'm Sam Jones.
And I'm Sean Green.
Thanks for watching.